let's see what we got coming up here. We're going to have 4x cubed y minus 4x squared y, and that's going to be all over 2x y squared minus 2x squared y squared. So we're going to reduce this to lowest terms. So what we want to do is look up here in the numerator. What can we factor out? What's in both this part of the expression and this one over here? It looks like we can pull a 4 out. They both have 4's, and they both have x's, and they both have y's. So we're going to be able to factor out a 4, and we always look at the one with the smallest exponent, an x squared, and the y here has the first power, and this one has the first power, so we'll be able to factor out the y. Okay, and what in the world we're going to have left? Well, I pulled out a 4, 2 x's, and a y, so we're just left with an x, and pulled everything out over there, so we're just going to be left with a 1. Okay, once you pull that out. Now let's look at the denominator. So we have a 2, x squareds, y squareds. Okay, so we're going to be able to factor out a 2. The x squared, so we always pull the one out with the smallest exponent. And a y squared. So I pulled out a 2, an x, and a y squared, this first part of the expression. So we're just left with a 1, and minus, pulled out a 2, 1x, so we're going to have an x left, and pulled out all those y's there. So, okay, let's I'll tell you what we're going to do first. Let's just go ahead and reduce this first part here, and then I'll show you what we're going to do with that. 2 goes into 4 2 times. We have 1x, we have 2 x's up here, so this x will go into x squared, and we'll be left over with an x. So this is going to be a 2x. Now we have 1y in the numerator, but we have 2 in the denominator. So once we cancel one of those out, we're still going to be left with 1 down here in the denominator. So we'll just rewrite that right there. Now here's the trick on this one. I'm going to factor a -1 out of this top piece right here. And so if I were to, and I'll just put it right here. So if I factor a negative out, that becomes -x, and then that will become a +1. Crazy, isn't it? And then over 1 minus x. And so here's the reason I factored this negative out. Now, and that is so I can get it to match the denominator. If you take this -1 and you distribute it back inside, for example, -1 times -x is +x, and -1 times 1, right, is going to be your -1. But what we have now is we have a term in the denominator and the numerator that are both the same. And now I'm going to take this negative and move it out into the front here. So -2x over y. And I'm going to rewrite this piece right here. This is 1 minus x. So it looks just like the denominator. 1 minus x. And of course, this number is the same as the number in the denominator. So you can now cancel those out. And we're just left with a -2x over y. And that's now been simplified completely down. We have reduced all of that down to the -2x over y. Amazing.